Okay. Um, Good evening. This is Empowered Educators with Ronnette Branham, and I am so excited for our episode today. We have a special guest who is going to stay in line with our mission, and that is to inspire and offer insight and wisdom and training. I am just excited because I know I'm older than him. I'm older than him, but he
Much,
is a
not much.
teacher for me, and I can't appreciate this all. So thank you for joining us, Mr. Williams. Daryl, I don't know which one we call you. I'm gonna say Daryl.
Let's go. Let's go with Daryl. Let's go with Daryl. What's going
Okay.
on, everybody? I'm Daryl Williams Jr. So excited to be here tonight on the Empowered Educators podcast. Let's make memories. Come on.
Okay. So again, I just want to thank you. I appreciate you just answering the call because you could have been almost anywhere and you joined me and I appreciate you looking me up as I was researching you at the same time. I could appreciate that. And just to get started, I want to talk about something that is your expertise, and that's training new teachers. At the same time, old teachers need training too. Everything is new. Every curriculum, every program. We came up in New Jersey, they have new standards and they revamped the standards. So there's training needed for us as well. So I'm trying to see, how would you approach a new teacher coming in, education, we're trained in philosophy, maybe how the students learn their development, but how to teach, I've never been taught that. So how do you
How to
approach that
teach.
for new teach? Oh, before we even get started, tell us what makes you an expert. I know already, so you could
What
tell us.
makes me an expert? What makes me an expert is that I was a terrible teacher. I was a terrible teacher. You're lucky I don't have the terrible teacher shirt on. Right now I have on the new teacher big impact shirt, but I was a terrible teacher when things got started. My first year, I can remember I had literally the worst class in the whole entire school building. And I remember coming into education and thinking that everybody was saying we need more black males in education, we need more black males in STEM, we need more black males in the classroom. My students didn't agree with that. Like they didn't know. They didn't know that this is what we needed, because I went in the classroom and I remember telling them, "Oh man, like I am the black male that people saying that you're looking for, but you're disrespecting me, you're rude to me, you're calling me names. Kids were throwing apples at me. They're not saying, like, there was so much going on, to the point where I almost quit. To the point where I said I can't do this anymore. To the point where I said this is not for me. But I decided that I was going to continue and try to figure this thing out. And as I transitioned from my first year to the second year over that summer, I learned how to find my teacher ID. And in finding my teacher ID and leveraging my uniqueness to make the difference that only I could make, that's what helped me transition from a terrible teacher to two-time teacher of the year. And that's why I empower new teachers to do the same.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that because that's true. You get in the classroom and you're like, huh? People are telling
Yeah.
you to do this and do that, and you don't even, students don't even get what you're trying to do. You have to understand the
Hmm.
students, right? So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you did that.
Yeah, and it was rough, and I know I'm not the only one that had that kind of experience, whether it was your first year, whether it wasn't your first year, but one, the feeling of inadequacy, the feeling of being an imposter, the feeling that I'm not good enough, having a vision that God placed on my heart that I want to go and make this impact in education and for educators. But sorry, for students, but as I'm in the classroom, I feel like I'm doing a disservice. I feel like they would be doing so much better with literally anybody else, and I feel like I'm falling short of the expectation. And I feel like I wasn't the only one that's ever been through that. And what I was able to do was overcome that by learning what it is that sets me apart and makes me unique. Because the things that set us apart and make us unique are the ways that we're able to make the impact. Those are the ways we're able to make a difference. I didn't know that at first. So now, once I was able to figure that out, that's why I help other people to understand their uniqueness and understand the thing that sets them apart. That's what sparked the idea for the book, 99% human, 1% amazing, helping people find their 1% amazing that makes them unique to make the impact that only they can make.
Yeah, I kind of stole that.
No, for
I'm
real, I
like,
didn't know.
okay, I'm gonna use that because it I don't know. I didn't do research on it, but I can understand that because our DNA
Mm,
is our DNA. And
yeah.
there is something about you that's unique from me. And use your personality. That's what my thing is. Use your personality and you will soar. Your students can appreciate it. If
Yeah,
you're
and it's so real. I know you said you didn't do research on it, but do you know that there are 2 different types of DNA?
yeah, well,
Yep,
sort of,
yep.
sort of.
So, because that's where the whole thing came from. I was in a book study with, Dr. Robin Jackson. She wrote the
Mhm,
book Never Work Harder Than Your Students, and that book completely changed my teaching career. That's the book that kinda put me on this track, and I was in a study with her on Zoom, and I was, talking to her, and then she was saying, most people are about 99% the same. I was like, "What do
mhm,
you mean?" She said, "Go look it up." So I looked it up, and I found out that we have 2 different types of DNA. We have
uh-huh,
non-coding DNA and we have coding DNA.
yeah,
Non-coding DNA exists in all organisms, exists in flies and plants and trees and orangutans. It exists in all organisms. But all humans have 99% of the same non-coding DNA. That's a fact.
mhm,
Everybody that's living, everybody that's ever lived, 99% of our DNA is the same. The only thing that differentiates us is our coding DNA. That's what communicates with the genetic code to produce our traits and things like that. But that only represents 1% of our DNA. And I know, so I know as I was thinking about that, I was like, it just had to be done with intentionality. That
yeah,
the thing that sets us apart, the thing that makes us unique is just only 1% of what makes us who we are. That's the only thing that you can impact the world through because you're the only person that has that access to it. We don't impact the world through the things that make us similar. We impact the
right.
world through the thing that makes us different.
Yeah, see, so I've been saying that forever, but not with the DNA included. It's you are unique. Everybody's different, and that's how you impact. And so I've been saying that. So now I got that 1%.
There you go,
So
there you
now I
go,
get
that's
it
it.
now for real, for real. So yeah, I can appreciate that because just my personality, I have something in me that you don't have, and you have something that I
Mhm,
see, I can recognize. You're a black man, right?
mhm.
Everybody is I know black men, but something about you is different, and then I can resonate with that, and so I could appreciate that, and that is going to help me to if I'm going to relate to you or not. That's something
Yeah,
that's so unique. Just like our students are unique, so we have to find their uniqueness and how do we teach to those students and teach to everybody at the same time. So that's where my mission is that I have to teach to each child's learning style, each child's personality, and let them see what I see so that they can learn. So that's what I do. That's my uniqueness where I can let you know who you are and what you can do. Period. That's my uniqueness. And I know that. Like I recognize you for who you are and what you I mean, I'm telling y'all what I was in your webinar, your workshop the other day
okay,
last
cool.
week.
Okay,
That was
yeah.
awesome. That was awesome. I'm paying for a whole lot of stuff. That's why I didn't join. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm going to be tuned into everything that you're doing because I recognize that uniqueness in you. So I know this is not even what the way we're supposed to go, but this is just knowing who you are is going to help train another teacher because you can see their uniqueness. You can see that 1% of them, or if they let you see it, and then you're able to train them. Same way I'm able to see it in my students. I'm able to teach them based off that. And
Love
I'm excited to what you're going to offer for us today. That you already gave us a mint right there.
it. Hey, once we get started, I'm ready to go.
Okay, so I'm a new teacher. No, not even if I'm a new teacher or not. I'm new to your district. I'm new to your school because you're administrator, you're vice principal now, right?
Yep.
So I come into your school new, brand new to your district or to teaching altogether. I think I'm great. I know I'm
Mm,
ready to be the black lady in the classroom. Students are going to be ready for me. I'm ready to teach because I know how to teach math, right?
good.
What could you help me with? Because the students don't care anything about me knowing math.
Yeah.
They don't care anything like you said about my color. They don't care anything about that. They just either you're gonna hit it or you're not. Either you're gonna capture my attention or you're not. So
Yeah.
what could you show me or help me with?
Well, the thing that I would help new teachers with, and we keep talking about this new teacher. What even really is a new teacher, right? I know you joked about it a couple of times, and for me, as you know, my worst year was my first year, but my
Mhm,
second worst year was year 4. Not year 2, not year 3, like, not it
mhm,
wasn't linear. Year 4 was my second worst year, and the reason why is because I was transitioning from Huntsville, Alabama to Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a new state, new students, new grade level, new curriculum, everything about it was new. So to your point, yes, I had 3 years of experience, but everything that I was experiencing at this point in my career was new. So there are teachers that have 20 years of experience, 18 years of experience, 14, you know what I'm saying, that are entering a new situation that's making them feel like a new teacher. So when I say I help new teachers, I mean it new teacher isn't quantified by the amount of years of experience you have.
yeah.
New teacher is somebody who is stepping into a new situation, which if we think about it is really every teacher every year,
Mhm,
right? So with that being said, what I train new teachers, what I train all teachers to understand are the 6 principles of effective instruction. You just said it. People can understand the content. People can know how to teach math or know what math is or have all the content knowledge. But if we can't give that to the students in a way that they can receive and retain it, then we can't provide a transformation.
right.
Effective teachers understand how to create a situation in which students will receive and retain the information so that a transformation occurs. So there's 6 proven principles of effective instruction. Can I give it to you?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't
I'm
want to take
on my
over.
toes already.
All right, let's do it. So the 6 principles of effective instruction start with they are the principles all start with E. All right. Encourage,
Mhm,
engage, empower, evaluate, extend, and endure. All right. So I'm going to break those down. Encourage. Students first have to believe that they can actually do something before they try to do it. So what that means is we have to create an environment through your classroom theme, through your classroom organization, an environment that is created, the culture, the climate in which students understand, okay, I am capable, fostering that belief in themselves, that growth mindset. It starts there.
mhm,
Then with the engage principle, it, to engage students is means you're going to create an environment in which they can actually receive the information. So that's classroom management, that's being engaging, that's using technology, that's telling stories, is all these different principles that you will use to be able to actually get them engaged in learning. So we encourage them, we engage them, and then we can empower them,
mhm,
because to empower them means to provide innovative lessons that allows for a transformation to take place. So now that they believe that they can, and now that the environment is set up in a way for them to be successful, now you can talk about your content knowledge. Now you can show me a pedagogical approach. Right now you can give students information. But then on the back end of that, the fourth phase is the fourth principle is the evaluation principle, because now I'm assessing to discover what students know so that I can help give them what they need.
mhm.
Right? So those 4 work in tandem, back to back. We encourage
Yeah.
them, and we engage them, we empower them, and we evaluate their success. The last 2 are really focused in on the teachers, the extend and the endure principles. Extend is how you become a reflective practitioner so that you continuously learn how to become how to improve your craft. You're going to extend your learning beyond just the classroom. Maybe you step into a coaching role or you take professional development courses, whatever it is, but you're extending your impact. And then last but most important is the endure principle. And endure means that you're going to create systems to help your teaching career be sustainable through time management, through burnout prevention, stress management. How are you going to create systems to help protect you so that you can endure and make the impact that only you can make? And those are the 6 principles of effective instruction that I teach all teachers, new teachers, old teachers, seasoned teachers, doesn't matter who it is. When you can master these 6 principles of effective instruction, I guarantee you can live your dream classroom in every block every day. And next school year will be your best school year. And that's what I teach in Impact as well, which is the online learning platform that is
Mhm.
built on those 6 proven principles that for just $13 a month, you have access to all those courses and community and coaching. So that's what it all stems from.
Yeah, man, that's what I've been saying, saying, practicing, learning. When you say go from every year is different.
Yeah.
Last year I started. The year before last, I taught by a bilingual class. I didn't know it was bilingual till I got into it, and then my superintendent said, "Oh, you have the bilingual class." Oh, that's what I have. I didn't know that. I know they don't speak English, right? I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what it was. It was we didn't have enough bilingual teachers. So they got this waiver. So I had that class. So I had to learn my class. I had to practice what I knew. I had to empower my students, all that. And then I had to create a system. And then the next year they stepped it up because I thought I had it all down. Pat, I got this. And then the next year I was dual language which is this school year, where I had to switch because they didn't have, still don't have enough bilingual teachers. I had to switch. I had to be the English and then switch so they can have their Spanish speaking teacher halfway during the day. I had to switch, but maybe 2% spoke English. And then when they were with me, they ignored me because they knew they had that Spanish speaking teacher. So again, that was a difficult year. And so I had to
Yeah.
practice everything you just said in order for me to be effective. Because it doesn't matter what you teach, it's the skills that you have. And I
Yeah.
had to practice all those skills, and it took me a minute. It took me a
Yeah.
minute.
It takes
And
it takes a while to master.
yeah, it took, well, they said I have to do that next year, and I'm like dreading it. I'm trying to find another job. But yeah, I can appreciate that. So how long did it take for you to understand what it was that you had to do in order to be an effective teacher?
I'll say it took 2 years. So year 1 was terrible. Over that summer, I put in a lot of work and learned a lot of things. Year 2, I tried and practiced a lot of things. I had an awesome administrative team. We had access to great professional development, through in my 2nd year. Then 3rd year, I was on a roll. So 3rd year is when I became teacher of the year for the first time. Then 3rd year is when the thing started clicking. And but it really wasn't until year 6 that I was able to actually articulate it. Because year 3, I was teacher of the year. Year 4 was a terrible year for me again, or a bad year, a down year, I should say, a down year. Year
Mhm.
5 is when I was teacher of the year for the second time. And then year 6, what happened was I was actually en route to becoming teacher of the year again. And don't get mad at me, but I declined. I was like, I don't want it because
Uh-huh.
if you've ever been teacher of the year, you know that it comes with a lot of paperwork and publicity, and you got to fill out this packet that you send to the state. And I was just like, I don't want to do that again. I've done it twice. I'm good. So, but then in year 6, I asked, can I be an evaluator instead? I want to be able to see, I want to be able to choose the next teacher of the year. And they were like, okay, cool. So I took my name out of the hat and I became an evaluator instead. And that is when I was able to see the 6 principles that I just mentioned to you. Because I was going into other teachers' classrooms and I was people who were applying for teacher of the year, people who were nominated for teacher of the year. And I was like, she's all right, but if she would just do this. I was like,
Yeah.
that was cool. But if they would just do that, and I'm nitpicking kind of their practice, not in a negative way, but just saying, like there's so much great things here, but it
Mhm.
could be more awesome if she would just to implement this or that or this or that. And that's when I had the words to be able to ask myself, okay, so what are the standards? Like, what does it take to be effective? And that research over the last 4 years led me to the 6 principles that I just shared.
Yeah, that's something that I keep asking about. Can we go into somebody else's classroom to even get that? That is what helped me. uh, my first year teaching second grade, I had taught preschool for 10 and a half years. My
Oh, wow.
first year teaching second grade, it didn't even make sense to me, right? It didn't
Mhm.
make sense. And so my I went into somebody's classroom to see what they did for literacy because what I was doing wasn't even the program we were supposed to be using. That wasn't even. I had these books and these teachers manuals, and then we weren't even supposed to be using that. We were supposed. I'm just saying
Word?
that's too different. But the thing was, we were supposed to do readers and writers workshop. Nobody
Mm,
told me that. This is the book. I used the books they gave me, right?
okay,
So
yeah.
I went into a teacher's classroom and she was doing readers and writers workshop, and I was like, "Well, how did you know?" She said, "I just followed it." So I watched her, then I got the readers and writers workshop, and then I followed it. So my thing was to learn the curriculum, learn the program, and see what I can do with that. At the same time, infuse my personality and infuse the students' learning style. So everything was different, but by watching somebody else, I can see what some things look like or shouldn't look like. So that was a good idea that you were able to get in there and become an evaluator.
Yeah.
Because we need that. We don't have that in my district. If we do, I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. It varies from district to district, but that's what actually led to my favorite job. So that was year 6, I said, and then year 7 and 8, yeah, 7 and 8, I was an instructional coach. So I stepped out of the classroom for the first time. That was the year of the pandemic, and, then I became an instructional coach. So I was doing that evaluation full time, and, I would go into teachers' classrooms and assist them, like, watch them, provide feedback, and assist them in growing their practice.
So do you offer your services to other districts? Or can you do that?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So currently now, I've disconnected from the district that I was in up until June of this year. So right now, I'm freelancing, if you would, but right now I'm completely available for professional development of training different districts and things of that nature. So that is a shift that has happened over these last couple of weeks. I'm decided to step away and just train teachers full time.
Oh, I'm going to submit. I'm going to give your information to my superintendent. I gave
Yeah,
him somebody before, but this is something different. This is that other person was a speaker. You know, he comes in and does professional development that one time, you know, for those that
yeah,
hour or whatever. But this is something different. I mean, this will
yeah.
help because of the thing that we keep changing programs, you know, changing
Hmm.
math programs, changing literacy. I mean, I this is my third one in 5 years, 6 years now. Third math program. and
Jeez.
and so it does. I was like, this is great. Like the one we have now, I like it. You know, I like the way it is, but you need it from kindergarten up, you know, to whatever
Yeah,
fifth, sixth grade. But it still doesn't matter what the program is. You still have to have your 6 keys, your 6 pillars. I forgot what you call them. You still
yeah,
need that in order, because it doesn't matter the curriculum, because they're gonna keep changing it. You still
yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
be that effective teacher no matter what you teach. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
give your name to my superintendent and
I think
see for
that'll be
real.
awesome, because that is the thing that I literally talk about, and I think you were on the call that night when I was talking about the tree, and with the tree, we were talking about the root system, the trunk, the leaves, and the branches, and when you think about it, what a lot of people do is they give strategies or resources or things, but I would equate those to leaves. Leaves, um, leaves aren't the thing that makes the biggest impact. The strongest part of the tree is the root system, and from the root system is the trunk. The
Mhm.
trunk and root system, those are the principles. Why? Because even as the seasons change, even as you get new curriculum, even as you adopt new things, the principles remain true. Those 6 principles that I just named, those remain true. You gotta encourage, engage, empower, evaluate. Like, you've gotta do those things
Yeah,
regardless of what else is in the way. And then as you grow on from the trunk, then your branches is what I like to say is your uniqueness. Because every teacher is gonna have their own uniqueness that is growing from from that trunk, is growing from those principles. The same principles, what happens in Ronette's class is gonna be different than what happens in Daryl's class because we're two completely different people,
yeah,
but both of us are engaging, both of us
mhm,
are empowering, right? Both all of us are doing the things once we master the principles, we just do it in a different way.
yeah,
And lastly comes the leaves. Lastly are the strategies. Lastly are the resources. Lastly, the curriculum, because those are the things again that can change, you know, by the season. But the principles are the things that remain.
yeah. Because when you go way back to the engage, that's number two.
Yeah.
Engage. Number two, go back to engage. If you're not engaging the students, you're just wasting your time. I have had lessons where the students are, you see the glossiness in their eyes. They
Yeah.
are daydreaming, they are playing with something, they are doodling, they are not listening. I mean, they can doodle and listen. You know, that could happen because that could
Mhm.
be their way. But where people are just antsy, I have second graders. Second graders,
Yeah.
you need 7 minutes 7 minutes. That's it. You have 7 minutes to get them to understand. Then they need a break. So if
Yep.
you don't have that engagement, you're just talking. You're like wah, like the Charlie Brown
Yeah.
teacher, and that is something we have to master. And I see
Mhm.
why it's number two, because you can't get past that. If you can't do that, you can't get past that.
Or content that pillar system, because the content comes with the empower phase, but engagement, you've got to make sure students are in a classroom that is managed, and you have to make sure that you are delivering information in a way that is engaging. Even more importantly than what you say is how you say it, to make sure that they actually receive it, and then we can create strategies to help them retain it.
Yeah, I have a student. So halfway through this school year, right? I had that bilingual class, and
Uh-huh.
it's stressing me out so bad. So we got a new teacher because a teacher left in September. So we got a new teacher, and then my principal asked me, did I want to take the general ed class? That would be the third marking period, and
Yeah.
the new teacher, take my class. So I was, yes, you don't have to ask me twice. So I got this class. Mind you, I'm their third teacher this school year. I'm their third teacher. I only had 11 students now. I'm their third teacher, but they, I don't know where they got these students from, but it was the most challenging class. It was almost as challenging as teaching students in English who don't speak English. It was about almost neck and neck. So there was one particular child. It took me almost the whole 4 months to get to understand her and her to understand. I had to, like, for every lesson, I know she needed manipulatives. I know that. So I had to let her understand that I understood how she learned. And it took a minute to engage her. I can engage her a few times, and then sometimes I couldn't. She just was shut down. So it took me, so I couldn't teach her until I can empower her, I can engage her, let her know I see what you can do. Let's work on this. This is your expertise. I had to keep telling her that this is your expertise. I had to get that in her head. You know how to do this. She was able to do whatever we could do in math, but with manipulatives, 3 digit subtraction with regrouping. She was able to do it, but she needed to draw it. So it took her, I had to get it in her head that she could do it. It took so long, but she was able to. So it didn't matter what I can teach. It didn't matter if I
Yeah.
knew how to teach it. I had to engage her. I had to empower her. And then once I did that, we were on a roll, you know. So man, what you're saying is what I have in practice, and it's so empowering to me, and that you are saying the same thing that I've been seeing. That means because you are my teacher. I'm on the right track. That
Yeah.
means no matter what I teach next year, if I can do these things, I have it.
Yeah, so let
So
me ask you, how are you mastering these things?
how my master?
Yeah,
I
how are you
come
learning these things?
okay. I come in what do you call it? I uh assess, and I come home and I reevaluate what I did, what worked, what
Mm.
didn't work, right? Did I capture everybody's attention? I told preschool, and in preschool, the thing was, if you're not engaging everybody, you're not engaging anybody. That was what we were taught, right? If you don't have everybody's attention, it's like you don't have anybody's attention, right? So that is stuck in my head. So was everybody able to learn or grasp the content that I was given, right? If they didn't, well, what did I do wrong, or what happened? What caused it? So I will regroup, and I will come back the next day as if it was the first day. Every single day, I went home tired, but I had to go back and see, what did I do, or what could I have done. And
Yeah.
so that's how, it's not like I have particular training. I do some research, and then now I have you guys, so I can grab that. But that's what I do. And if I can't reach this child, how can I reach this child? How can I get her to learn? I want her to be ready for third grade. I want him to be ready for third grade. So what do I need to do? And that's what I do. So small group is where I really get a lot of it in, small group. So that works. But that's how, just by coming in every single day new. I
Got you.
have to do it that way.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because I think awareness is one thing, and action then is now the second half of it, right? So what is it? Awareness without action. I'm gonna mess it up. But it's like awareness is cool. Like I know I need to know these six principles of effective instruction. But
Mhm.
if what takes it to the next level now is actually finding some sort of way to make sure that we are getting it right. So that's where impact comes in because it's intentionally teaching those six pillars. It's one thing to say, man, I know that I need to engage students, or it's one
Mhm.
thing to reflect on your practice and say what went well and what didn't. And now it's
Mhm.
the next thing is adding that layer of support that gives you the information that you need in order to get the thing that you want to have.
Yeah. This is the thing. If I don't know this, that's how I operate because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I'm not. I don't want to be a loser. Just saying. I
Mm,
want to win every single day. I want to win. I want my students to win. So I reflect on what I did, and so I go in there and I try it, and that's what I do. So that's where I came. How this podcast, how it came about, is let's offer strategies to help these teachers do what they want to do to be effective. So that's where I am in the process. I want everybody to be able to be an effective teacher. What does it take? Everybody, we have to understand who we are. That's where I am about with it. So I could appreciate this. This is what I do. This is what I do. And I know you asked the question about who needs who doesn't know anything, who needs some more support or something, and who doesn't need anything. I was like, I'm 2 and 3. I'm 2 and 3. I know I'm not three. Nobody's three. Like so everybody can learn something. But I'm like in between. Why it depends on what it is. I just need to master it all, master, and then maybe next year be something different. But master what I'm working on, master strategies, and master those six pillars, those six principles. Because man, this is it's exciting to me because you're saying what I'm working on. And you know how you think you have it, and then somebody else comes and they're like, make sure you remember that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Or for example, when I was teaching preschool, my students could do math, uh, subtraction, right? Or they understood their. So then I had a supervisor. She said, "Okay, you told them that. So what are you gonna do next year?" And then so next year we worked on letters and sounds. And then they forgot. I just forgot about the math. But you have to build on it. And so that's where I am right now. So I could appreciate this. Yeah. Uh, executing
Yeah,
what I'm
that's it.
learning. So, let me see. Do I have any more questions? When I said I didn't take notes,
You said just having a
because
conversation.
no, because you're talking my language. I didn't even try to take notes because I usually do. But
Mhm.
what you're saying, so again, just say I have like me, I have to teach students. I don't know what your demographic is, and you're in North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
North Carolina, well, your demographic is ours in central New Jersey is primarily Hispanic, Spanish speaking now. And so our school is like 99% Spanish. And that's why when I got the new class, I had 11 students as opposed to 50 prior. So, um, what, give me just an example. Okay. I have this new class. All the kids speak Spanish. I have to
Okay.
teach in English. I teach in English. They speak Spanish. What how would I be able to implement your pillars with that class?
Like we said, the pillars are super important because it leads to effective instruction. Like I was saying earlier, regardless of what it is that you're teaching, students need to be able to be in an environment where they can understand it. They need to be able to receive the information and then retain the information. But most importantly, they need to believe that they can. So what we have to do is look at the biggest barriers that stand in our way from make allowing that thing to become the reality. In this case, the biggest barrier that stands in your way is the language barrier.
Mm.
So in order to connect with students, again, it doesn't matter if you're teaching math if they can't understand. It doesn't matter if you're teaching ELA if they don't understand English. It doesn't matter. Like none of the content doesn't matter if
Mhm.
there's some sort of disconnect. So what we need to target our focus on is how to eradicate the thing that is standing in the way. In this case, the language barrier, what I would use to address it is some sort of AI system where we could translate some of the things that we're saying in English so that they can understand it in Spanish. I'm not sure the overall goal of the school, whether it is to eventually get them all English speaking or what have you. But my initial reaction would be to meet them where they are, which means I'm going to use AI to convert what I'm saying from English into Spanish, especially if I'm not a Spanish speaker, so that they can understand the information. But I'm still going to implement all the pillars like that is the engagement pillar. That is under the engagement pillar, making sure that students are having an environment in which they can receive the information. They can't receive it if they don't understand the language. So under the engagement principle says give it to them in a way that they'll be able to understand, means translating it into their language, and then applying the rest of the principles so that they can actually receive and retain the information.
You're saying exactly what I've been saying. I'm laughing because you don't understand. They're like English only, English only. Well, that doesn't make sense. How? Right? Because my
Yeah,
last class, I could translate. I use video, I use pictures. Well, you say this is pero, I say dog.
yeah.
Let's work with that. And I translate it and basic things so they can understand. Or we discuss things. So tell me a little bit about this in your language. Go ahead. I understand a little bit of Spanish, so you can help me. So I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's ironic. That's the only way to engage the students is in their language. And so I have this recording. I want to play this back. No, but
And
really,
and I understand the rationale from an administrator standpoint or a district standpoint that says at the end of the year, the test that they're gonna be taking is in English, so they need to understand English. I get that. But sometimes we jump too far to the last step and we don't focus on the first step. The first step is that we have to meet them where they are and scaffold them to where we need them to be. We can't
mhm,
start at the finish line and hope that they'll eventually get there. You start at the starting line and you gradually bring them to where eventually you want them to be.
yeah, you don't know how much help me. This is for me for September because now I have the language. I have I can articulate a little bit better because I'm like,
Mhm.
this is me in the district. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
And then people are getting upset with me because I'm saying it like that. Can't make sense out of that, right?
Yeah,
And just to say, you cannot expect them to be in June. You can't expect the students to be in June already and in September.
right.
So I get that, and that is what I'm going to need because that's my class again in September. And uh, like I said, this is for me first before it's for anybody, and that is help because I know how to teach. I know how to that I have to engage the students, but I need to a way to engage the students, right? I had to do it with my 11 the same way I have to do it with my 50. When I say 50, because I had two classes. And so splitting them at 11 o'clock, we had to switch. And then I take the next class. Then the next week I start with the other class and then switch. And so maybe I had 5 students, 6 students in all who spoke English coming in. They were in bilingual classes prior. But so it has to make sense to every teacher. I don't care if they take your course or not. It has to make sense to every teacher because we all been struggling with this. There's no one teacher who has never struggled with this. There's no way. So I appreciate you. Um, is there
And I
any? I don't want to hold up. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I know we keep on talking.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to shoot a correction real quick because it's not a course. It's not a course.
Oh, it's not a course.
You're gonna make people mad at me calling it a course. It's not a course.
Oh, I call it a
Because
course. Course to me.
it's
Okay.
not a course. It's because it's a full solution. I want you to think about it like Hulu, right? Like Hulu, whereas a lot of people sell courses, and if it were a course, it would be a one-time, it's $197 for this course on classroom management. That's what we see. If you've been on TikTok, you've been on
Yeah.
Instagram, that's what you've seen, that's what you know. Even in person, if somebody comes and does a training, like you said, one-time training, and it costs the school $2,500, and they come one time and leave. But it's literally a full comprehensive solution where it has a library of trainings. So they're individual courses based on the 6 pillars. So inside the pillar of, let's just say, engagement, there are courses on student engagement, there are courses on classroom management, there are courses on, how to implement technology. So under that pillar, there are 3 different courses. But there's also a community aspect where there's a private online community with people literally from around the world. We have people in other countries where we get together and have conversations like this about some of the things that we're struggling with, and your mind will be blown about some of the things that you're struggling with in New Jersey. You'll see somebody else struggling with in Australia, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And then again, access to coaching. So it's a full comprehensive system. And the crazy thing is, like, with most professional development, like I said, it'll be one time payment of
Yeah.
197. You get access to the course. You do it at your own pace. But this, you get access to all the courses and the community and availability for coaching for just $13 for the month that you want access to it. That, like, I think that's the thing that's the craziest.
Oh, okay. So the $13, I got the message today. So $13 a month is continually $13 a month. But then
Yeah.
there was something where it was a one-time fee.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
think
same.
about that. So my daughter loves Carowinds. I know you guys have Six Flags Great Adventure, right?
Mhm,
Carowinds is like the Six Flags Great Adventure of North and South Carolina. So she loves going. So because she loves going, I remember last summer we went and it was like $60 to get in. But it was $60 to get in and $80 for a season pass. And I was
mhm,
confused. I was like, why is it just $80 for a season pass? Obviously, we come more than once. It makes sense. And the reason why is because they want you to just, you pay your one-time fee and then you're good. You can come as much as you want. And that is
mhm,
literally what that other offer that you were talking about was. So there was a offer for 197 where it would
mhm.
be your lifetime season pass. Now that wasn't available to everybody. That
Yeah.
was available to those who are on the workshop. I know you were on the workshop. So it's
Oh,
197 and you then have your season pass and there's never another payment. But
uh-huh.
the $13 are for those who they just want to pay each month. It's a hassle-free cancellation for the month. If you don't want to use it this month, you don't pay your $13 and you just don't have access to the library. But when you pay your $13, you have access to the full library and the community.
Oh, okay. I didn't ask questions. I should have asked that. I didn't ask questions. I was like, oh, I just
Well,
paid for this and I paid for that. So I didn't,
yeah,
I'll come back. But okay, I get it. So I on the bottom of this ticker, it has your information. I just copied it. I think I didn't put enough space between each, but you are Daryl Williams Jr. everywhere, right?
everywhere. Yeah, you type that in. I'm sure you'll find me, Daryl Williams Jr. The website, and then anywhere on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Daryl Williams Jr. You'll find me.
Yeah, you might be my cousin. My family's from North Carolina. That's
Maybe.
not where you're from, right though?
No, I'm from Staten Island, New York.
Oh, okay. So you may not. My family's from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Williams. My
Got you.
father's Williams.
Okay, are
So
they in the army?
he was, yes.
Okay, yeah. The whatchamacallit, the Fayetteville is huge for military.
Well, that's where he came from, and then he
Got it.
enlisted there. Yeah. So yeah, that's where he started out. Then he ended up here in New Jersey. That's how I came about. So
Okay, there you
yeah.
go.
So but that's our family name. So okay. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate your
Yeah,
insight into being an effective teacher because that's what my goal is, help people become effective teachers. And I know you corrected me, but is there anything you want to take us out on? Because I that again, if you want to say how you can sign up for that system, be that, because we all, I don't care how long you've been teaching, we could use that because I talk to teachers all the time and I'm like, I, that's why I have a hard time sometimes because I said that doesn't make sense. You're not making any sense. But we need it. We need your system. We need your solutions because then we won't have to keep starting all over every year.
yeah.
We won't.
It keeps going. Yep. It's yeah. If you just, I think the easiest way is if you go to social media anywhere and
Mhm.
you comment the word impact on any of my posts, it'll automatically be sent to your DM the link to where you can find impact. That's probably the easiest way. Just comment the word impact anywhere
Okay.
you see my face, and it, we'll send it to you.
Okay, I like what you're doing. And then I'm going to send that you to your information to my superintendent
Okay.
and to our, what do you call those people? Our assistant superintendent, all those people, the curriculum
Everybody.
supervisors, because, and I'm with the note, they already know me. So they know I come with the solutions. That's what I
Yeah.
do. I come to them with the problem and the solution.
Mhm.
So it can't, I understand that. You can't come complaining and you don't have any solution. That makes that, again, that makes no sense. So I come with the solutions. They understand me. And whether they like me, that's something different. But you are what we need. I don't know any district that won't appreciate what you have to offer, the value that you bring. So again, I appreciate you. I really do. So I want to thank you again for coming to joining us. And you want to take us out with one last comment?
So where are we right now? In July? All
Mhm.
right, so we are in July. We have just a couple of weeks left. I just need us to remember that in order to make next school year your best school year, the thing that we have to remember is to leverage the thing that makes you different, leverage the thing that makes you unique. Why? Similarities can't make a difference. If you listen to that sentence, it doesn't even make sense. Similarities can't make a difference. The things that make us the same are not things that allow us to make a difference. We blink, we breathe. Right? The things you do the same as everybody else. The reason why you are in the position that you are in, the reason why you're in the role that you're in the school that you're in the class that you're in, is not because you do it just like everybody else. It's because you're the only one that can do it the way that you do. So do the thing that you do the way that only you can do it, and next school year be your best school year.
Oh, thank you. I got that. Thank you again. This is Ronnette Branham with Empowered Educators with Ronnette Branham podcast. I thank you, and thank you again, Daryl Williams Jr. Contact him. Just Google his name, and you will find him. And then say type in impact, and you will get any information that you need from him. Again, thank you, and have a blessed day.
You got it. Take care.